been a while.
It's been, I don't know, we took a couple weeks off, okay? And we'll just get right into it, okay? A lot of people were, actually I did read some people, inquiring, saying, hoping everything's okay and all that kind of stuff. And it was a rough couple weeks for you on many fronts.
Yeah.
And I guess we could start with the first update if you want to take that.
Okay. I guess it was after our last podcast a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Which we were filming on a Sunday, and we got a call from the fertility clinic. It's like 9 p.m., which is weird on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And she was calling to tell me that our surrogate had a blood clot, but they weren't sure if it was a blood clot that meant anything or if it was like miscarriage blood clot. So then I sat up all night because who's going to sleep after that? Well, you can, but I could never. So I just sat up all night long. And then the next morning, it was confirmed she had a miscarriage and she was bleeding pretty bad. So that was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, emotionally very, very difficult for you. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, because just like a couple of days before, you were already talking about like getting, baby stuff. And we were talking about doing that. And that's probably why they say like,
don't plan so much. I mean, I try to say that with you and you're like, well, I'm optimistic. And, it's like, now I won't plan.
Good. Okay. Well, you got to do whatever you have to do, like mentally, because like for me, I mean, I wasn't in the same place you were with all of it.
You thought it was for sure though.
I was sure that it was going to happen. So I had no doubt. And then it didn't. And then, I started to look forward to what's next. Well, actually, you did rather quickly. I was surprised.
Had to
for your own.
Yeah. If like we knew that was. We had one embryo left to try. And if we want more, then I knew that I had to do it now because my period was here.
Yeah.
Or else we would be waiting like 60 days sometimes for my period to come.
Yeah. So what I meant was you were just ready to you were already thinking about that day.
Getting it over with is what I was thinking about.
Well, you were also talking about because we had to do, the surrogate who had the miscarriage, there's a waiting period.
Yeah.
So now we found another one, right?
Right.
So I'm looking at always from the optimistic view of maybe this is going to work out even better because we could potentially have two surrogates pregnant within a couple months of each other. And then you've got your hands full with two.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but in order for us to get to that point, because like you said, the first time you did IVF, you had a ton of eggs that ended up giving us two embryos that were good. First one didn't take, so we still have one more. Which is going in. And then you had to go through this brutal, horrendous process of IVF shots.
Again. And I know people go through it or whatever a lot, but like this time has been much harder for me. Mentally, physically, all of it. It's been. Yeah,
you weren't people ask why didn't we do a podcast? Because you were not mentally available and physically you just couldn't. You haven't, there was, once you had this, you were already struggling with the shots, but then when you had the surgery, the recovery was even worse.
It's only 5 days out.
Yeah, 5 days out. Yeah. So you're still struggling. But
the bloating, how
yeah,
you feel awful, nausea, pain all day. I felt like I was gonna throw up before I came down here. It hasn't been easy.
It's just a lot on your body, right? Because you're growing these, like you said, with the size of a walnut, your little follicles into a grapefruit.
Is
an
what
almond. Ooh, that's even smaller.
That's what they compare your ovary to.
So and then it grows up to the size of a grapefruit.
Mine did, yeah.
Yeah, that's big for you. You're tiny.
It's big for anybody. It's big, and it feels awful inside you. I can feel the stimulating. I can feel it, and they're growing. But again, we did the surgery, got 27 follicles.
28 this time.
28 follicles. And we did fresh semen this time from you, meaning you have to be there on the day of.
We'll tell
instead
that
of frozen. And from there, 17 fertilized immediately, day 1, which was much more than last time. Today is day 5. Usually you're waiting till day 6 to get the news of how many you got, but 2 already made it today. So we have 2 that are frozen.
To the next stage that they go through genetic testing.
Genetic testing is next. And tomorrow, she says they were so close. We'll have more tomorrow. So I don't know how many total we'll have tomorrow, but we'll see. And then 10 days of genetic testing, and we do this shit all over again.
Yeah. Well, mainly now, hopefully you each day start to recover. Because what needs to happen now is that your ovaries got to go back to normal size. Just like
They got to shrink down. You got to drink a lot of electrolytes. You have to, people would think it's the opposite, but you need to have a lot of sodium. Because, sodium usually would bloat you, right?
Yeah.
But what it's doing is there's a bunch of fluid around your ovaries and it needs to pull that fluid out. And sodium pulls it out of there, I guess, and into your bloodstream. So yeah, I've been drinking, but like almost wanting to yak from drinking so much.
Yeah. Speaking of drinking, I want to get to that too, because first of all, well, I didn't know until, whatever, like you're not supposed to drink alcohol if you're going to do a sperm sample.
Not like you were.
Okay, enough with that.
Not like
she literally said moderate. What are you talking about?
She said you were moderate.
Okay, well, you both don't know shit. I mean, what?
I gave her the dates you were drinking.
Yeah, like what? But I had like 2 glasses of wine. It wasn't. Anyway, bottom line was that's not where I was going with it.
No, you're not. Just point is you're not supposed to drink right before egg retrieval.
Right. So I didn't know this, that nobody told me. And then I realized it. So I was like, all right, here we go. We're going clean. I'm going to work out, try to get in the best shape I can to make sure my spunk is ready to go.
I think you had a week, right?
Like 2 weeks, almost 10 days, 2 weeks or something like that. But the good news, but anyway, like I said, I mean, no matter what, like I drink 2 glasses of wine and you of all people who used to party like a rock star, judge me so harshly.
There's a reason that you get defensive because it has nothing to do with me.
No, it does, because the way you say it, you always are like, oh man, you were moderate.
Listen,
like,
that's
I
what
wasn't.
she told me.
She's wrong.
She's wrong. The doctor's wrong.
She said it was fine.
She said, she makes lots of jokes. She's a funny lady.
Yeah.
She said, I've had, alcoholics in here who make babies. You want the better sperm, right? So you want to not.
Hey, buddy, you can't get I
can't. What I was saying is she wanted to know specifically how much you'd been drinking.
Yeah.
So that's not something to get upset about. I went through our texts to see when you were like drinking this night, drinking this night, drinking this night. So I went through and wrote all the dates down of the past however long so she could see.
Yeah.
That's all I said. And she said it was moderate-ish and, up there a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I can't, if that's moderate, then I don't even know what the hell, like.
Well, you just went through a phase where you were drinking more at the table, I think. That's what it was.
Well, I would have like literally 2 glasses of wine with dinner. That's it.
Okay. You went through a phase where you were drinking more like in a row, I think, at the table and stuff.
Well, yeah, but 2 glasses.
Poker Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
Very rarely more than that, except when the guys came over, whatever. Anyway, I didn't really want to go down this road. I was going to tell a story, but you always come at me with my wine drinking now.
I will literally leave.
Why?
Because you're getting on my nerves.
Okay, we'll move on.
You're the one defensive about this. I don't understand.
Okay, don't leave. Hold
if you have a problem, that's on you, not me.
Let's tone it down there, honey.
Well, then get to it.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. All right. So, I had like the 2 weeks or whatever. I worked out and did my best, and then. Well, you don't know when it's going to happen, like when the sperm sample happens.
We knew like around like 3-4 days.
Well, I was playing the U.S. Poker Open, and it was going to be timed where twofold, I think. One was you're going to have the surgery.
We knew it was going to be like
near the 15K, 25K.
Yeah.
So I woke up, we woke up at like 5 a.m. But before that, this is where it's like, it's not hard, but it's like, they make you like
ejaculate.
And there's like protocol. And like 2 days before, you got to do it twice. And I'm not 18, I'm 50. So, I get to 2. And then the day before, you got to do another one.
Yeah.
Okay? Now.
Then when you get the old junk out.
Yeah. Now, day of, you go in there, right? And I got to say a couple things. Number one, it's 2025. Whoever designed these hospital gowns is like ridiculous.
Well, that's a normal hospital gown.
But I'm just saying, how
that's what they look like.
Like, I think it's 2025 and we got these cheesy ass strings.
They either say open in the front or open in the back.
It's like a Romanian rag we used to use to like clean the toilet. It's like they're terrible. They're like, I mean, you'd think that they would come up with better gowns these days. But anyway, like Velcro or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
they're all like that.
Yeah. So you go in there. They give you a cup to pee. That's easy because I had enough water in me. Then. You got to do your thing, right?
Yeah.
But you're already depleted.
I don't know what this room looks like you were in.
The room it's literally the bathroom. It's a toilet,
the bathroom?
The bathroom, and then there's a curtain where they got like a movie. They have like a little computer screen, but it's like I don't know all this like tame ass porn. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I don't. So now it's a chair like this, okay,
upright.
with like just like a piece of stuff on top of it, paper.
Oh, like paper, like
So it's like it's not sexy.
It's
right?
like sterile.
Yeah, and there's like a little table there, like this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, here's the problem: I cannot finish sitting. I don't know about some people, but like I can't stand and do it. I need to be laying down.
That's crazy. You have to be
sitting like this, doing this, with the cup, and then you're trying to time it so you get this right.
Oh my God.
And so I was losing it because I couldn't. Wasn't happening. And I'm frustrated because now I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? It's like, what, 7:30 a.m.? You're in surgery.
I wasn't in surgery yet when you were texting me.
I was like, this is ridiculous.
You were like, oh my God, I can't do this.
So then you say, like, go to the parking lot and go in your car because my chair does recline.
I did say that. I'm like, the IV hooked up, getting meds, about to go. And I'm like, why don't you just go try in your car?
Because is it even legal to jerk off in a parking lot, like in outdoors? I don't even know if that's...
Probably not.
Probably in a fertility clinic, people be like, meh,
he might give you a pass.
But like, what am I was going to go to a corner in a parking lot and just like some guy's going to, I'm going to open my eyes and there's a lady there going, doot, 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 doot. Like, no.
I don't know. I was like, you needed to lay down, you said.
I went back to my car. I was like, listen, it didn't work. So I went back to my car, relaxed for like an hour. I actually napped for 10 minutes. I'm like, all right. Man up.
Well, they told me you had to like 10.
Huh?
You had to like
10. I know,
10.
but it's still, it was like when you're mentally there, it was like, then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll lie on the floor, the hard concrete floor. That's not very comfortable. But either way.
Concrete? Where are we?
It's concrete. I mean, it's for the bathroom, right? So, so I'm thinking
tile?
to myself, like, how is this the best we can do? It's a beautiful, big time fertility clinic. You don't have a reclining chair. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like, because I don't know if I'm the only man, but if you're a man and you can, like, am I the only one? Because sitting, it just does, it's not.
Just jerking off, though.
Whatever.
Because you can get a blowjob standing.
But I won't finish.
You have.
When?
You have.
When?
I'm not going to name it.
No, I haven't.
I'm not going to name that time.
Who were we with?
I know. That's the problem.
With your old friend? Huh?
One of them? Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, most people can stand.
I wasn't standing. I was laying down.
Not for this one.
Man, geez, how did this one escape my memory? Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, mission accomplished. Not a lot comes out. Like, it felt like a decent amount, but then you look in the cup and you're like,
it's so small.
That's it? You're like this little, like I said, when you're 18, you produce, man. But they said,
and there are ways to produce. I was telling you, there's these vitamins and things you can take to make you like have more cum. I was looking things up.
Yeah, like pineapple juice and
just all kinds of stuff.
But it's fine. So, but the thing is, they don't want me to have too much, right? Because the whole point was they depleted me to get new stuff. They
just wanted the newer sperm. Yeah. Because the newest sperm has the best morphology and it flows better. It's faster.
So the first time we froze it because I had to go to Bahamas and her period was like literally 45 days late.
Yeah.
So this time we did fresh. We got a nice crop going.
We'll see.
But
they did fertilize 17 very fast, so immediately. Maybe you got enough out. I mean, she said that she could take from the tiniest amount because there's millions of sperm in whatever you gave.
Yeah.
That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Millions. But I was like thinking, oh my God, I was anxious going into surgery because you were like yelling on text about not being able to do your part. And I'm thinking, this motherfucker better get it done because what my body has gone through this week.
Imagine like, I'm like, sorry, y'all, I got nothing.
Like, can you imagine?
Got nothing for you.
I'm not doing this again if you can't do it. But no, they gave you a lot of time.
For you, you don't know this because you're a woman. Maybe you do. But there are times, let's say, for example, when a man, right? Let's say you come really, really close, but then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
From that point on, continuing.
It's hard.
Worthless. It's like, that's why I had to stop. I'm like, all right, I was close. But then I fumbled with the cup and I had to get the cup and I'm like close and I'm like, oh shit. Okay, so fail. Right.
Oh, no.
But now I'm like, what am I? You can't like, it's hard to just go from that to like, okay, let's start over. Again. I tried sort of like a couple times and then I realized, this isn't going to happen.
You needed like a minute. You needed a break.
I needed an hour to reset the weapons.
Yeah.
Get what do you call it? Inspired. Get some inspo, and go back in there and be like, you know what? Man up. Deliver the goods. And we did. So I think going forward.
No, if you didn't do it, they would have just gotten it later and froze it. And then
I understood.
But it wouldn't have been as good, but it'd still be fine.
So I'm wondering I didn't ask you this yet, but like I was going to say, so, we were pretty open with what was going on with the, the first run or whatever. Do you feel like that you want to change the way in which you handle it going forward because of any mental anguish?
We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I'm just not going to plan and get excited.
Because most people don't share about this stuff.
I know, I said that.
But we were pretty open books.
We were all the way open.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, let's just see how it goes. Like, we know that it's coming up again. Like, the implant for her will be May. So we know that that's happening again already. So that means like if everything went right, it would be February-ish.
It's a good month.
February, I think.
I'm kind of a bigger fan of early in the year.
Yeah.
January, February babies. Because, I mean, this is nerdy, but like there's a book about it, Freakonomics. In the NHL, for example, right? Of all the players in the NHL, 85% were born between January and June, right? Mm-hmm. And then, so only 15% in the second half. So the question is, why, right? Why does this happen? And it doesn't happen to any fault of people. It's just organizationally, what people don't realize is, let's say, for example, you have 7-year-old kids playing hockey, okay? One was born in January, one was born in December. That kid's like 6. This one's got a full year of development.
Right.
So what ends up happening is he's probably the better player, which means he's going to get more attention from the scouts, from the thing. They're going to be like, oh, he's the star, right? So then, the kid that was born in December doesn't get those looks quite as often. Mm-hmm. And so like, but it's like literally like a year older. So a lot of people, what they do is they redshirt, mm-hmm. where like the kid's born in December, but they just hold them back so that they can be like one of the older kids in their class rather than the younger ones.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a thing.
Well, next embryo is a girl, so.
Girls play sports.
Not hockey.
Yes, they do.
I mean, not,
There's women's hockey, there's
scouts
field
and
hockey.
Things like.
Well, scouts scout for a lot of sports. What? Like,
yeah.
All kinds.
Okay.
This is the WNBA now.
Professional hockey player.
As if we're going to have a WNBA girl.
Or a hockey player.
What?
We're not going to have a girl hockey player.
How tall do you think?
We're talking about a girl.
Yeah, it's going to be like 5 foot.
We're talking about a boy here.
Okay, so what? What do you think? Girls don't play sports? What are you, sexist?
Sure, but like hockey, I don't think about like as much.
Because, what sport do you think of for a girl? Tennis?
Basketball, even
gymnastics,
softball, like that's in sport. Yeah, gymnastics and dance and all those things. I mean, soccer, girls play all kinds of things. Okay. But you were specifically talking about hockey, so I was like,
I wasn't talking about hockey in relation to the embryo. I was talking about the general like concept of redshirting.
Yeah,
which I wonder how they handle going forward. Because if you're a parent, this kind of stuff. I think for your kids, like you want to set your kids up for like the best possible future. Mm-hmm. Do you want them to be the smallest, youngest, weakest in their grade, or do you want them to be among the strongest? Like,
yeah,
what's better for their development? Somebody has to be the youngest and like the weakest and the smallest. But like,
I was like one of the last to get driver's license because my birthday's August, and that's late even. Mm-hmm. I was little and the one of the last ones.
Yeah,
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 and that's not even late in the year, really. I mean, but it's late for school.
Yeah, second half.
Yeah.
And you're already tiny.
You know what's odd? When you were talking about it, I was thinking there were 2 kids that were older in our class, I remember. Both boys. And like they got made fun of.
Why?
A lot because their parents held them back.
Oh, so they were like looked at as being dumb.
Yes.
So like you're older and you're still in the 3rd grade because you're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I was just thinking it when you were talking about it. I was like, oh, I remember this person.
I think the kids today don't even like, I mean, maybe this is just my perception and I'm not a kid, but like what I sense is they care so much less about school in general.
Yeah.
And like how good you are in school and way more about how cool you are, like how athletic, how much of an influencer, how many followers you have. Like,
oh God.
Because I'm like, you're right. Like we used to make fun of like smart kids too. All the cool kids made fun of the smart kids. Like I was in an enriched program, okay, when I was in junior high. For the smart kids. And I didn't like it because all my friends were dumb and they were in, Gen Pop. So I like purposely.
We didn't have that.
I purposely, you didn't have enriched gifted programs?
No, I had honors classes is what they were called. But I didn't have like, if you were smart, you weren't made fun of.
Well, it wasn't that we were made fun of, but like, they sort of did. But like, I wanted to be with my friends. And then I remember like purposefully like not doing the work and like failing on purpose so that I could be with my friends.
Yeah.
And then the next year they're like, all right, well, you asked for it. And then I went to like the classes and it was like brain dead stuff. It's unbelievable. Like the difference. Like I was actually among smart people learning stuff. It was probably a stupid mistake, but it worked out for us. So, we're fine. But
yeah.
Like,
you want your kids in those classes if they can.
I just wanted to be with my friends.
Yeah.
And all my friends none of them were in the enriched class. They're the athletes and whatever else.